hoping for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man, it can't be.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Modify Your Life podcast, where I am your host, Anthony Lopez, also known as Heavy to Modified. And here on Modify Your Life, if you're new, we talk about modify your life mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially. And today, our co-host, Modified Frankie, Mrs. If you didn't track it, you didn't snack it.
Definitely didn't snack it.
Miss New York Slice, give me four would be nice.
The white slice changed my life.
Yeah, honestly, the pizza in general in New York is just, I don't know what's in it. All you New Yorkers out there, please leave a comment. What do you guys do in your pizza? And I need to stay away, but I also want to go back.
You know what I noticed also, now thinking back?
What?
There wasn't a lot of I didn't see a lot of overweight people. I'm sure they exist, but I didn't see them out and about.
Yeah, you can't be overweight in New York. You have to walk everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, I felt like I felt like there was old ladies passing me up.
Yeah.
Literally, there were old ladies, and I moved pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
And
the only
I was
time
getting
I
passed by
saw
old ladies.
thicker people was in the touristy stuff, like the Empire State Building and stuff like that.
Those are probably the Americans.
Hi,
Well, the
America.
Americans are going. This is the same place where they're putting out commercials now that we should have cereal for dinner because we're in a recession. So, hey, I know you guys are struggling financially, so let's give you this high-calorie sugar bomb for
cereal.
yourself and your kids. So this is better for you to eat. And then when you eat this, and then in the next 10, 20 years, you have diabetes, then just come over to us and we'll drug you up for a small price of $100,000 a year.
Damn, that escalated quickly.
Damn, let's go. I'm on one today. I'm on one. No, because we talked about it in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And everything's linked down below. If you ever want to join my community, $10 a month. You could afford it. Don't lie to yourself.
That's a coffee run.
That's
One
that's a
coffee
quarter
run.
of half of a coffee right now. Starbucks is crazy. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like, it's very true though. Like, you know, we talked about in the community is that like, you know, we're worth more money being sick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and we got to wake up and understand that, you know what I mean? Hey, good morning. Welcome. I know for some people like 6 a.m, like, dang, this guy's starting off tough, but it's very true.
Damn.
Like, you know, we got to understand that like we are worth way more money being overweight, obese, depressed, stressed, sick, miserable, you know what I mean? Constantly going to the doctor, constantly just being unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
We're worth more money.
I didn't see it that way when I was on the other side.
What do you mean?
Like the value that my disease had to big pharma.
You know what? I realized, you know, before I even started my weight loss journey. So when my grandpa was sick and he was given 6 months to live, before it was a couple weeks before he got put into hospice, he ended up, I forgot, I think he got like not sick, he had like an infection. Mm-hmm. And no. What happened was, so sorry to be graphic for anyone that's pretty sensitive, maybe fast forward a little bit. So his cancer was sticking out of his stomach. It looked like it started off like the size of a golf ball. It ended up getting almost bigger than a regular base, like a softball. He ended up getting the size of a softball. And before he wasn't put in hospice, you know, we went over to Kaiser. Shout out to them. I can't stand them. I have horrible stories with Kaiser.
And multiple, right?
Multiple stories with my personal and our car accident. Oh yeah, Kaiser sucks. For any person that works at Kaiser listening to this, I'm sorry, but the experiences I've had with Kaiser has just been trash. Mm-hmm. And so we get in there, and then we take him in there. They ask for his medication and stuff like that. And then I'm like, well, I didn't bring it, but you know, this is his name. He's been going to Kaiser. He's had a good insurance for like 50 years. Yeah. Right. And he's been going to Kaiser for as long as I know, as long as I've been alive, since I remember me going to doctors with him for checkups and stuff like that. Yeah. I am 30. At that time I was 27 years old. Mm-hmm. So let's say for sure 20 years. So they should have everything. He goes to Kaiser, get medicine, all that stuff. There's doctors from Kaiser that, you know, they said this before.
It's all on the same network.
All on the same network.
Yeah.
And they weren't finding the system. So I had to go back home and grab the medicine because he wasn't in the system, which is very weird because they're the ones that prescribed him the stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I bring over the stuff, and then she's like, he has cancer. I'm like, what? Do you not listen to anything that is like, I told you before I had to go make a drive back home to go pick up his medicine? And so she's like, oh, well, you know, since he has an infection, there's nothing we could do. There's nothing we can do because he has cancer. I'm like, okay, I get it. He has cancer. He's dying, but he's not dead right now. Wow. And I was like, and she gave me attitude like, okay, well, I'm like, I was supposed to take that like, oh, well, since you're right, miss, because he has cancer, F him. Who cares, right? Who cares? And I looked at him like, stop looking at this guy as a patient and look at him as like someone's grandpa, someone's dad, someone's uncle. You know what I mean? And it really, really pissed me off to the point where I've never wanted to hit a lady in my life. Oh, but I did. I'm not going to lie. And I had to step back from the situation. I wasn't going to.
Right.
But it meant, okay, like put yourself in, if you were there, wouldn't you be pissed off? If someone treated your grandma like that? Exactly. Right. So I was very pissed off.
I just got triggered.
Yeah, I know. Got well, because it's different. Like, and that's why I said, don't look at him. Don't look at this guy like a patient. Look at this guy as a human being. Like, and I told her, I was like, what if this was your grandpa in here? Like, what if this was your dad in this hospital? And ever since that conversation, ever since that interaction, I just realized that, we're just numbers to a lot of different people, to a lot of different businesses and a lot of different companies. And we got to understand that we're just numbers to them. We shouldn't just be numbers to ourselves. We're just numbers to them. So like when they put out this false information to eat cereal and that, there's more protein inside Cheerio or, what's the Lucky Charms there is in steak.
Yeah, that was
crazy.
crazy.
And they put this stuff out to people like old Anthony Lopez, old Modified Frankie, old people, old versions of yourself listening to this podcast that you were so gullible and would believe that.
Or the older Facebook people that are just going to believe it because they read it.
Yeah, it's just because like, oh my gosh, there's so many people that read one thing and then all of a sudden it's true. And it just doesn't make any sense. And you're like, for our own FDA to be putting out stuff like that is just absolutely insane. But at the end of the day, we're just numbers. And they're just, FDA is just numbers too, because it doesn't go on to what's the best for our American bodies. It goes, who's going to donate the most money to us? Because that's who we're going to put on the top of the totem pole.
And every generation, it's something different. Like for say my mom's generation, when we were younger, I don't know if you remember, but everything was like fat is the enemy. Everything should be fat free. There was fat free yogurt, fat free blah, blah. And now it's carbs. Now it's carb, like you need to be carb free.
Everything's so extreme.
Yeah.
It's like, we all have our own extreme. Look at like Y2K. Oh my gosh, the world's going to end at end. You know what I mean? But like everything's so extreme right now. It's like nothing is just like, no one does their own research. Everyone just goes in, and I'm saying this owning a podcast.
Also, what fits your agenda too.
And oh my gosh, what fits your that's something that I was talking about earlier in the community is that it bothers me, and this is gonna sound like I'm being a hater, but I promise you, just hear me out and then make your decision if I'm being a hater or not. And if I'm being a hater, call me because I'm not always right. It's my thought process, so I'm not saying agree with me. I'm just saying this is how I think. This is our conversation. This is our podcast, right? It bothers me, and it's been bothering me a lot lately that I go on and I see like these body positive, the wrong body positive too. I feel like I'm a real staple in the body positivity community.
Oh, I think I know where you're going.
Right, but like I see like these, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even trying to be sexist, but I see it more in the female post than I do the male post. But I also do see some of the male posts too.
I don't see it much in the male, like species, I should say.
Species?
Whatever.
What the hell?
But I think we don't see it as much with males because of ego and like the vulnerability of saying like what we would be comfortable sharing.
Yeah, and okay, that makes sense. I get ego because the hardest thing in working with male clients is the ego for them to understand that I'm here to help them and not judge them. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But I mainly see it in the post from the girls is that, oh yeah, so I support your body. And I'll see these girls that are 300, 400, 500 pounds inside Sports Illustrated magazines. And then I'll see the comments of like, oh my gosh, it's how time we have a voice and blah, blah, blah. And all these freaking comments. And I'm over here going to the gym. You were so triggered. I was pissed. Like and I hate to let things like that affect me. Right. But I just got to be honest. Like I'm just being real. This is what this is about. This is real conversation. It's like, it bothers me. It's not that the comments, it's not that the likes or the follows. I mean, I have all that. It's just like the fact that so many people will jump ship so they could just follow their lazy ass agenda. Right? Oh man, I'm gonna follow Heavy to Modify because he's putting in the work. Oh wait, this girl right here said that you could eat whatever you want and just, put this fucking wrap band around my stomach and I'm just not even work out and I just sweat off all the fat. Oh, forget Heavy to Modify. I'm gonna go to this easy way out. It's like, when are you going to stop being so in denial of your ignorance and start doing the work.
Or even worse, let's just accept who we are because this is who we're meant to be, and let's just live happy. But let's make everyone's life miserable and say that you need to change everything to accommodate me.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah, you have to change. You have to adapt to my body. You have to accept
I
me
was
for
meant
being
to
away.
be like
Because
this.
no, we're not meant to be fat people. Like, get that out of your head. Like, pull your head out of your ass. You're not meant to be fat. The reason why you're fat is because we're lazy. The reason why we're fat is because we choose to have lack of discipline.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why you're fat is because you choose to eat like 2 and 3 people. That's a reason why we're fat. Why? Because I'm talking as an ex-person that just described himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like, that's why we're fat, but it's so easy just to just let someone be like, oh, well, this person is supported, so I'm just going to support it too. Like, what about you can't wipe your ass? What about when you can't put your shoes on? What about like when you take your kids out of forget to lock your kid's stroller and it starts rolling down a hill and you're so fat that you can't even go chase it? And what if you would think it's not possible, but the stuff's possible.
Yeah.
Or what about when your kid wants to go down a slide? Or what about when your kid gets stuck in a slide? Are you going to be able to go into a slide? Or are you going to have to ask another parent that chose to live a healthier lifestyle, make better decisions to go save your kid from crying inside of a slide? What if your kid is drowning in the ocean and you can't run fast enough to get there? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, but you will sit there.
It's critical.
And act like it's so okay to be overweight and lie to yourself. And you know you're lying to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I knew I was lying to myself when I accepted that I was fat AJ. I lied to myself. Why? Because if I wasn't lying to myself, I wouldn't have been on a diet since I was damn near in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, well, that's unhealthy. No, I was unhealthy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's unhealthy to be on a diet. No. Me not being able to wipe my ass at the age 27 was unhealthy. Me drinking alcohol every single weekend and smoking cigarettes, that was unhealthy. You know, me freaking being depressed and suicidal was unhealthy.
Did you, when you were in that mind frame and body, did you ever think that it was all of those things and those feelings were because of your weight, or did you blame it on something else?
At one point in my life, I just, I remember it's so crazy how you just remember these conversations. I remember these moments that I didn't care about, right? But then why are they burned into this brain right now? Yeah, right? I didn't care about
like a core memory.
I remember one time I was sitting in the house in Santa Ana, and I was sitting down, and I looked down, and like I was just like looking at my legs and how like I put my one hand, I'm like, and it didn't even take a quarter of my legs, and I got 2, and I was like, man, like, why am I so big? Like, I was so mad at myself. Not mad enough to change, obviously. I got bigger from that. But I was like, why is like everything? And I was like, damn. And I looked back, I thought back, I'm like, I've been fat my whole entire life. Like, I've been like made fun of. I've been turned down by girls. I was like, man, it fucking sucks. And I'm sitting on the toilet taking a shit, having this conversation with myself. But I didn't care.
Those are the best combos in your head when you're pooping.
Well, yeah. It's just like in realization of just like how bad I let myself go. And that was like 400 plus pounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You weren't as big in the Santa Ana house.
No, I wasn't as big. I lost weight. Remember, I started gaining weight after Kaiser Permanente turned me down because I didn't have weight loss surgery, so I couldn't get loose skin.
At the time, yeah.
At the time, you know what I mean? It freaking pissed me off too. You know what I mean? And like, in even though I didn't harp over it every single day I was reminded that I was fat. And every single day I was reminded that I was obese. And like, people are going to listen like, well, that's a tough life. People shouldn't remind you that you're fat. No, I reminded myself.
Everything
it was
reminded
getting
you,
in
like
the Camaro.
The small tasks?
Well, yeah, I was getting in my Camaro, getting a custom bracket. Had to tie my shoes leaning to the left a little bit. I was reminded by myself. I didn't walk around every single day being overweight and people called me fat. Like, it's not how life goes. Mm-hmm. Now, when you're in elementary school and junior high and high school, maybe a little bit of high school, the high school is more of just like the titty slap time, just guy stuff. Mm-hmm. But like, it's not like I go out every single day and someone called me fat.
Okay.
Right? Like, it was just like, I was reminded, like my best version of myself was screaming like, let me the fuck out. But I just didn't do anything about it. I shut it up with some food. Like, oh shit, I'm fucking so fat. Let me go to Korean barbecue.
Damn.
You know what I mean? And like, I didn't like that you were overweight, but who in the hell was I going to tell you to lose weight? I couldn't even see my own dick.
You know that I actually never had an issue with you being overweight.
We all know I'm shallow though.
Yeah.
You're not shallow.
Well, you know what? Just came to my mind when we were both big. You know, like, because you were talking about pooping in the restroom. We would always break the
toilet seats.
The toilet
top part.
seat.
Not the toilet, everyone. The toilet, the little, because I would shake my butt. I'd get on there and then I pop down on things. And yeah, there's like, even like our couches would be broken in the middle because I would pop down on them. I broke the center console of the Jeep.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, chill, big dog. You weren't light.
That was my car.
I know, but dang, you don't gotta. I know, but
all right.
Okay, so I really want to know.
Okay.
And I really hope you're honest, because either way, it's not going to affect me.
Okay.
Because I think I know what you're going to say, but then I don't believe it.
All right.
Welcome to my brain, guys. I have an argument in my head before I even bring up a conversation.
He's got 10 rebuttals ready.
There wasn't time like when me and you were like about to, Humpty Dumpty, and like you see me booty naked, that you weren't just like, I wonder how it is to have like a skinnier boyfriend. Or something of that sort. Like, like just something. Like, I'm not gonna take it personal.
No, but I will say one thing.
But careful, I will break up with you on this podcast. No, I'm just kidding. I want to know the truth.
No, I never thought that. But now, you open the door.
Am I gonna be hurt? I'm about to get my feelings hurt.
Every person that I had been intimate with before you was also.
There's people before me?
Plenty.
Oh.
Just
neighborhood, hooking up with a neighborhood
hood rat. No, was also overweight. So I never thought of seeing your body
but I was the fattest one. They were bigger than me?
Yeah.
You got a type, girl. I'm not even your type anymore.
I did date a person that was bigger than you, but I never did it with them. But what I wanted to say though is your question, no, I never thought that, but
I don't believe her.
I didn't know until pounds later that sex wasn't supposed to hurt my body.
Girl, you had 600 pounds of man meat.
I know, but I didn't correlate all that weight on me and me doing things that my body had no business doing. Remember, I would throw out my back all the time? And I'd be sore in the weirdest places. And that I didn't realize that it was mobility. Because one, I was 300 pounds and I also had 600 pounds of force on me.
Chill, big dog. Chill. So, they make 600 sound so big.
Now it's completely different. Because now I don't have to take a day off of work.
You did take a day because your back.
Yeah. But then I didn't know it was because we were both way too big for what we were doing.
She just said she had to throw away. And it's not the good way to take a day off of work. That was because your boyfriend was it gargantuan? Was it the word? What's from Sheldon. Not gargantua.
No.
I don't know.
Homunculus. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you know what I mean? So but yeah, Giddy, so your answer is no.
My answer is no, but then I elaborated with sex is painful when you guys are both big. Because you're already too big, your mobility is probably trash, and then all that force of body weight on you and all that stuff it's a lot.
It's a lot of moving parts.
There was a lot of motion to that ocean.
And I will say that everything gets funner as you lose weight. So if you're not motivated to lose weight,
there's a lot more clapping.
Nah, that's just loose skin. Because you don't got a butt, girl. And that's Modify Your Life podcast.
Cut the mic.
Cut it off. No, but yeah. So that's interesting. That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if we're going to talk about
that. I gotta say, I didn't notice anything I noticed now about your old photos. That makes sense. Did I say that right? I didn't notice what you look like then until I see you now, and then I see old photos.
Because you saw me with love in that moment.
Yeah, that's how I know I love you. Because I see old photos of me, I'm like, that girl didn't have a chance with me. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. I love you. But like, if I'm just saying like,
I'm gonna gaslight you and say when I see old pictures of you, I also don't remember you that big, but I don't think those things. You dick.
I'm here to look it. I am here to be honest. Okay. We're not here to lie. We're not going to be the couple that acts like we have a perfect relationship and then 6 months
I will gaslight
we
you
break
till
up.
the wheels fall off.
You can guess. I'm the master of gaslighting, so it doesn't affect me. I'm just being brutally honest. Like if I were to be this weight right now, and you were to be at the old weight, and I didn't know you, and I seen you at a club,
Okay.
I'll friend zoned you. I probably wouldn't even looked your way.
Would you have bought me a little drink?
I would give you a card for one of my programs.
You wouldn't even buy me a taco?
No, you didn't need a taco at that time.
My soul needed a taco.
You didn't need taco. No, you didn't. You don't need taco now.
No,
I
don't.
But you know what I mean? Like that's just me being honest. Like if I was like now, but like it's not. And you know what's crazy? It's like the power of weight loss is not just in your mental being tough, but like your face and your body changed so much since you lost weight.
Mm-hmm.
Like my old photos of me look like I have an older obese brother. The photos of you don't even look the same.
I don't even look related.
Now there was a surgery, a little face surgery.
There was 2 surgeries.
Little lip injection.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Little fillers.
Little
Botox in the forehead, but you know what I mean? You know what's funny? All right, so check this out. Let me soften this up the conversation real quick. So me and Francine were talking. Me and Francine were talking the other day, and we're talking about having a kid and stuff like that because we're in the middle of trying to have a kid.
Jesus.
And we're having the conversation. I was like, you know what? We're gonna have to start like a fun. We're gonna have to start a fun for our kid, and especially if we have a daughter. It's like, oh yeah, for college. I'm like, no, to get work done. It's like, why get work done? I was like, because we're gonna have a kid, and you're gonna have fake tits. You have a butt, and then your kid's gonna be born top heavy. She's a daughter. She's top heavy, and she's like, Mom, why do I look like you? I'm like, girl, your mom don't look like your mom.
First of all, facts. But you know what? Actually, I want to go back to how we were talking about the old pictures. I have a question. Are you like embarrassed or ashamed of like seeing old pictures of you?
No. Mm-mm. I'm never embarrassed of my past. And that's something that is very difficult for a lot of people. I'm not embarrassed of my past, and I don't have any. The only regret that I have is not losing weight so my grandpa could see it.
I know.
But that's so, and they say don't have regrets, but like I don't believe in that. Like, I mean, have regrets, but don't harp over it. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, I do have some regrets. There's a couple things. There's a couple people I was mean to. I regret. Same. There's a couple of I wish I would have started my weight loss journey sooner. So my grandpa would see I finally did it. I wish I would have learned. I do have regrets on not learning, how to save better. There's a lot of regrets. I changed a lot of these things, but some of them I can't change. But no, I don't feel embarrassed. Like that person was doing the best he could with the mindset of a lazy ass.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Not but what I had, because
what
internet's
your brain
in our
had,
head.
what your brain had.
Well, no, I just didn't want to do it. So the knowledge that I get and the information that I get and the books that I read now have been around for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
So it's just that I didn't want it enough. And like, I've learned to accept that, right? And so many people get so mad when I bring up like, hey, like stop lying to yourself or stop you falling victim to your excuses. I'll get DMs like, well, you don't understand that, not everyone get to have, wake up and do cardio every single day like you do. Asshole, I couldn't do that. I built up to it.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that if my parents were rich, I would not be working. I would be fed a golden spoon and I would be okay with it. And that would be nice, right? I would still be overweight and obese because I didn't have to have any accountability because my parents got me. Like, this stuff that I bought and like the stuff that I get to do and we get to do, sorry, I need to start saying we get to do and we get to travel and what we've built as a brand. This stuff wasn't always like this. Like people don't understand that. Like people just think that this, like I just dropped out of the sky from a stork. whatever the hell that big ass bird is. And my life is just, nope, now I'm here with a whole bunch of loose skins and muscle. Like, no, like I had a,
and a
we
story
had
that you
a,
didn't work
and a
for.
story I didn't work for. Like, yeah, like everything just given.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, here Anthony Lopez, and today he's gonna be blessed with da 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 da. This stuff wasn't like, this wasn't handed to me. Like this stuff was earned. Like this stuff was 100% earned for. I've only had 2 real jobs in my life. I've had to bust my ass. I've been on social media since I knew what social media was. I've been making YouTube videos for 6+ years, 7 years.
Actually, before
More that I have
even
YouTube
met
videos
you.
in high school.
Yeah.
When I was making music, I've only had 2 real jobs. I've been I worked at Skate Depot, and I worked at a manager. I worked my way up as a manager in a vape store.
Mm-hmm. Every
Every single bill, every single car, every single apartment, every single toy, every single hobby, every single TV, every single dirt bikes. Well, now it's new stuff.
all the stuff.
All the stuff, including buying you a car, is all been because I worked my ass off.
2
And that's
cars.
from 3, 4, 5, 600 plus pounds, 6'5", 300, 265 pounds. Like this stuff is not just handed. Like it comes with hard work.
I think you always had it in you. You just never like challenged yourself. But I
No,
think you always had the dog. You just muzzled
I've always
him.
had the talk. And now I learned how to
But
take
the dog was
action.
in
The
there.
dog was in there because I could talk a good talk. But anyone can though. Like I don't pat myself on the back from being a dog because I could talk a lot. That just makes me average. You know what I mean? What I consider myself a dog now is that I'm willing to do the work that the lazy people won't. Like I'm willing to work when other people are comfortable.
And you're willing to lead
And I'm willing
with truth.
I'm willing to lead with truth, and I'm willing to learn from anyone in that category.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take advice from someone that's 600 pounds, how to lose weight. But I'm also into, what I'm also about to is putting the work before I talk about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, it's just like people will sit here and be like, oh, well, you don't understand. I do understand. I understand how it is to have $100 in my savings account.
Is that why you also always will post like when you're having tough days and how you get through them? Because you want to, not like the relatability
No,
thing, but just so you could show that
people,
like, I don't have only good days.
Yes, that's 100% why. And it is relatability because people don't understand that it's not like picture perfect. And oh my gosh, I hate social media sometimes where they paint like this picture perfect lifestyle. They don't drink, they don't smoke, they don't do this, they don't do that.
But they do it,
and then they
just
do
don't
it,
post
but
it.
they just don't do it. They just don't post it. I know people like that. I know people that are just doing this for the money. I've met some of these people. Some people with big following, you'll be surprised what they do, but some of your favorite people. So I'd rather be the real one that you see me, and I'm the same person.
And you get that all the time.
And I feed off that energy, and I love that I get that compliment because that is a compliment. Like, you know how much backlash I get when I post when I go out and I go drink? Like, oh, why would you post that? You're supposed to be healthy. Because I'm human, and I'm not gonna hide from you, and I'm gonna tell you what I do. And then the next day or the next clip, you're gonna see me doing my cardio, right? And like, oh, you shouldn't be drinking. I'm like, you're 500 pounds telling me that I shouldn't be drinking.
Wait, you do cardio right after?
I do every
your
single time.
Client said you smell like alcohol.
Yeah, Henry, yeah. And I don't do it every single weekend. Like the problem is with the average human being is that you do it every weekend. I do it
and you don't
once
put any work
every couple
times,
and you don't. Yeah, exactly. You take the whole week off, or the whole month off, or the whole year off.
Your life is off.
Your life, yeah. You take the life off. You go on a break.
Yeah.
Which a break you didn't even earn. So me, I'll go and I'll have fun. And then I won't eat 20 tacos after I'm done partying. I won't have a whole handle of vodka. I'll go and I'll have my time, and then I'll go home and I'll pay my dues on the cardio.
I think you go hard in everything.
I go hard on the right stuff. I just go hard on doing the right thing. Like I told you, when I came back from New York, I was like, you know what? I want to focus on doing the right thing. So like now I'm focusing on like saying the right things to you. I'm focused on doing the right things for myself. If I say something, I need to do it. Like the damn trash can. There's trash. I need to take this out. It's been like freaking 2 days. But you know what is? We've been excuses, but this is really why my brain keep looking at it. Because like when I do something, I'm just like focused on that. But every single time I pass it, I keep on thinking it's the clothes because we just got.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't took it out, and I'm like, I'm so pissed.
Bags,
so after this podcast,
bag.
after this podcast, I need to go and throw that out before our next podcast because I'm tired of looking at it. But that's doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I seen a problem. It's my obligation to fix
And
it.
it's looking at you.
And it's looking right at me. That trash can's like, you lazy ass mother sucker. This is why you're not going to make 500,000 this year.
Because
you're
here.
not willing to throw out the trash because you're being lazy. Like that's talking to me.
Yeah.
Not in that way where like, this guy's a lunatic, but you get what I'm saying though. You know what I mean?
Your
Like,
dialogue.
but that's the stuff that's what it takes. It's the little things that people don't understand that is the most important.
Mm-hmm.
It's to someone not taking out the trash is little. To me, that's why you're not successful. Because you don't have enough discipline to do the small things, you're never going to finish the hard task. Because taking out trash is hard. No, it's not. You're just lazy.
Yeah, it's what, 20 steps?
It's about 45. But I got my
Sometimes you take the little bike.
I got the bike. I got the electric bike. I'm zooming. You know what I mean? But it's like little things like that for us, our room was a mess all the time, and we would always clean, but we would always make a mess. Why? Because we were too lazy to put the clothes away once you got done washing.
We would put up a front. Our common areas were always clean enough.
Yeah, but the closet was disgusting.
Wait, like our common areas were clean enough, so if people came over, they would think we were clean people. But if you opened up our room,
the closet or the
our
room,
closet,
holy
it
crap.
was like a mountain of stuff.
And look at that. Our room was a mess. Our room was a mess.
Our life
was a mess.
Yeah.
We were too lazy to clean our room. We're too lazy to get our life together. It all goes hand in hand, right? And I say this all the time because I'm always going to give respect to someone I look up so much is Andy. How you do one thing is how you do everything. And if you don't believe it, that's why you're not successful. That's why you haven't reached your goal. That's why you haven't started your journey. That's why you haven't accomplished any of the goals you've set for 2024. We're almost midway through the year. What have you got done? Are you in the same boat you've been in 2023? It's because you're too lazy. Are you in the same boat as 2022? It's because you're lazy, right? Like, what did you accomplish?
It's not all the excuses you're saying. No,
it's not. Yeah,
have been in the way.
Oh, because of
if there's
this,
a will, there's a way.
Because of back when I was in 13, my mom told me that I need to go on a diet. So now I'm depressed, and now I just look at food and I get so stressed out and depressed. No, you don't. You don't get stressed out and depressed. You just indulge in food. Like, stop lying. Like, wake up. And regardless of what your mom said when you're 13, okay, cool. Your mom's an asshole. You probably know that already. You're going to let her control your life in your 30s and 40s. You're going to give up everything because of something someone told you when you were 13. Like, do you understand how crazy it is? That's like me going outside today and someone say, "Hey, bro, you look stupid with your loose skin," and then I'm never going to step outside again. What? Yeah. Like, listen to it. Like, listen to yourself. You're just giving yourself cop-outs. You're just believing it. And you're sitting here in line and like
No, that's an excuse because...
No, that's what I'm saying. You're giving yourself a cop-out.
Yeah, it's an excuse because like, well, that feeds my agenda.
Because it makes you feel better to lie to yourself. But regardless, you lying to yourself or you're lying to other people, you can't lie to yourself. Yeah. Because when you go home and you sit down and you leave when you leave the club or you leave the bar, or you leave the dating, the speed dating thing, or you go on a blind date or whatever it is, and that guy or girl doesn't call you back again because you don't have the aesthetics that you want to have, but you're not willing to work for, and you know that's why they're not contacting you again, what do?
They're in the wrong.
It's their fault. They don't accept me. No, it's your fault. And when you start accepting that, and when you start taking accountability of how you look, how you act, how you present yourself, you reaching your goals, start taking accountability of stuff like that, life's going to change. Until then,
that's a good way to wrap it up.
You're just going to sit here and, be miserable and lie to yourself and say, "Oh man, I accept myself. I was born this way." We didn't come out of our mom's fat. Chubby, cute little cheeks, but we didn't come out obese. Like, I don't know. We didn't come out 300 pounds. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's like, and then you'll sit here and people will sit here and complain about like their parents. Mm-hmm. I grew up with a single mom, had me at the age of 18. My dad was in and out of jail. My mom didn't know about nutrition, thought it was cute to give me a whole ass Happy Meal at the age of like 2.
Was it cute,
I had a sister very, very, very soon after that has a disability. Mm-hmm. I had a dad that was in and out of jail. Mm-hmm. I had plenty of times where we had the lights cut off. Then my mom had another kid, my little brother. And I didn't have the world's easiest upbringing. And I'm talking about I didn't have a heart. I'm not going to sit here and say I was broke. But I'm going to sit here and say that I have a story too. But my mom did the best that she could do. And once I started to grow up and I realized what I was bigger than everyone, that was when it became an obligation. Now I could sit here and you know what's so crazy too is like my mom blames herself so much about me being obese. And my mom, like, as soon as I became an adult, it was up to me to fix it. It doesn't matter if I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
Like it was my choice. Like you did the best you could do. That's all your parents could do. So if your parents did the best they could do, and most likely they're overweight, they're fat because their parents are fat, and you know that it's not normal, you know you don't want to look like that, it's your obligation. Go break your family curse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go change it up
Be
a
the
little
first
bit.
one.
Be the first person. Because I know we broke the family curse, which is not really a curse. It's just more of a lack of
A lot of things.
knowledge. It's a lack of knowledge. All it is. If your mom and dad had the knowledge that we have now in nutrition, and we give them the knowledge and we take them back 30 years, I guarantee they wouldn't be overweight along with my parents. It's just a lack of knowledge. You know what I mean? And just like how we put our knowledge into so much stuff that is just so unbeneficial and counterproductive to our life. We'll sit here and listen to someone sit down and eat food and say a story about the latest gossip. Or we'll scroll through and figure out, you know, what freaking Will Smith and Jada Smith's latest argument was. And we'll know exactly how much blah, blah, blah's net worth is. And we'll sit here and watch other people, you know, winning in life. Useless stuff that you will never use. And it's like none of stuff. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
You will invest so much time into that every single day instead of investing 45 minutes for you working yourself every single day. And that's exactly why people are in the predicament they're in, because they're so invested in other people's life, they're not even worrying about their own.
Yep. Because it's easier.
Because it's a lot easier to watch someone else put in the work and for you and win than you actually go and, you know, drag your face through the mud.
And you're asking yourself why you're not there.
Yeah. You're not there because the people you're following are just doing what you're not willing to do. You're not different than anyone. I'm not different than anyone. I'm just willing to work harder than you. I'm just willing to run faster than you. I'm just willing to, you know, fight harder than you. I'm just willing to track my food when you're not willing to. I'm willing to say no to going out when you're not willing to. I'm willing to wake up at 6 a.m, do cardio when you're not willing to. I'm willing to meal prep for myself when you're not willing to. That's the only thing that makes me different. And you're not different. I promise you. You could get out there and win. But if you keep on taking these lazy ways out and keep on, you know, falling victim to your excuses, and you keep on making excuses why it's okay for you to live a miserable life, well, then don't complain. Just keep living, I guess.
Keep scrolling.
L-I-V, was it? I can't even spell living right now. What did the guy say? Live it. No, I don't remember what it is. Anyways, what are your thoughts on it? I feel like I've been talking a lot. Got a co-host that ain't Cohen.
I'm not co-hosting. I'm not hosting.
No, you had to go pee. We actually just took a break right now.
That was bad, guys.
Yeah,
I saw my legs shaking for the last 20 minutes.
Stormed out. I was like,
he's like, what are your thoughts on it? I'm like, I have to go pee.
So that's the original answer after I said that. This is just the second part of the podcast.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, like what's your thought process on, like, what are your thoughts, like, now, you know, being where you're at today and hearing me talk about this, like, you agree with it? Am I crazy?
No, I agree with you 100%.
Did I go too hard today?
I think it's a harsh truth that people need to listen to that a lot of other people are not willing to share.
Damn. I'll know in the comment section. Drop a comment.
Sound off.
Let me know.
I agree with you 100%. Now, if I'm thinking with like my old thought process, I feel like a lot of the procrastination, at least with me, right, was out of fear. Fear of the work.
Okay. You scared me for a second. I was like,
no, fear of the work, like 100% procrastination, laziness, everything. Yes, let's include that too. But fear of like, oh shit, like if I do this, it's going to require A through Z.
Yeah.
And
you weren't really give up that green barbecue.
Yes. But and then also like, would I even make it if I put in all of this effort? Now with this brain, I'm like, of course, right? But then it's like, well, is it worth it? Like with the old brain, well, genetically, I'm supposed to be like this. So there's like so much lies that I would consume with either the people that were around me or what I was scrolling through, that you really buy into it. And yes, it's 100% an excuse, but in that moment, it's a reality.
100%. Yeah. Big bone. Big bone. Oh, well, obesity runs in my family.
Or, oh, I got my dad's body shape, so that, I mean, I'm stuck with this.
Yeah. No. They're excuses, and it's also excuses because of our ignorance, right? Or
Yeah,
lack of
like if you
knowledge
strip
with
it down, it's all excuses.
Like everyone
but
is like,
there was fear.
I have a thyroid problem, but I never been diagnosed by the doctor. Oh my,
I thought that too.
My one was, oh well, my doctor says I hold a lot of water, just because one time the doctor said, oh, you might went up a little bit because of water weight. Then I ran with that. Like it's just we know the truth. We don't got 500 pounds of water in us, right? It just it's easy to be mediocre. Like that's what we're gonna end with that one.
There's comfort in it.
There's comfort in being a mediocre person. There's comfort in being a mediocre human being. There's comfort in being a mediocre dad, mediocre mom, being a mediocre.
Because at least you weren't as bad as your mom, or at least you weren't as bad as your dad. But
or
like, you
I'm
could
like
be
this.
Great.
I'm like this because of them. I hate that. Well, in that case, then I should be in and out of jail because my that's what my track record of my dad is.
But it is valid, right? Like what you said, right? Like of people saying, well, because of my mom and dad. Okay, so those feelings are 100% valid. But what are we doing with it?
Yeah, they are valid. The hurt you hold in your heart from a past situation is beyond valid.
It's only hurting you.
But at the same time, okay, your emotion is valid, but your actions are not from it.
Right.
Like the emotion is valid. You being sad, hurt, and in that situation really bringing pain to you emotionally is valid, but your actions and you letting that excuse stop you from being a great human being and doing the things you said to achieve for and becoming that superstar or achieving what you're capable of, that is not valid. You belittling yourself and putting yourself in a glass box is not valid anymore, right? Because what's going to happen is that you're going to carry this hurt and this pain for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Next thing you know, you're going to be 40 years old, 50 years old. The person that probably hurt you is probably no longer even here. And you're still going to be carrying that pain.
Or is not even aware.
And 9 times out of 10, that person forgot or doesn't even care about that situation. So you're going to sit here and throw away this beautiful thing that we call life because someone hurt your feelings. And that person doesn't even remember it, and that person doesn't even care about it. You're going to let that person have control over your whole entire life.
That's deep.
Because of a situation, or because someone said something, or because X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? You have to understand that you need to change the direction of where your life is going. You need to change that path and that mindset. You got to get over this stuff.
Because you don't want to be that person, whether it be like your mom, your dad, or whoever made
you
feel what you felt.
Exactly.
You don't want to turn into that person and you give that bad core memory to the next person.
Exactly. And people are like, well, you just don't understand. You don't get it. Yes, I do understand. You want to know why I understand? Because a month and 20-something days before I stepped on stage, I got a phone call. My dad was murdered, stabbed by someone. And I still showed up for myself. I still showed up for my family. I stayed in California for a month and 2 weeks, or a month and a week with my grandma to help her plan everything out. So yes, I do understand. I know what trauma feels like. I know what being upset feels like. I know what being depressed feels like. I know what obstacles feel like. So yes, I do understand.
And the person would have never known, but if you didn't do the bodybuilding show, it wasn't going to make the person that did that feel any worse.
It wasn't going to change the situation.
They don't care at all either way.
You know what I mean? And that's not a flex to me. That's my life. That's going to be in my book when I write it. Like, you could overcome anything. Stop letting these. Imagine if I let the person who stabbed my father over girl drama, which I found out, stop me from doing my bodybuilding show. Stop me from being a good person. Stop me from being a good coach. Stop me from making content. He already took my dad away. You think I'm gonna let him take everything else I work for away? No. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're letting someone that's already took a little part of your soul away now take away everything that you could love so much.
And can achieve.
And could achieve. and could be and could work for, and what you could have and what you could own and what you could accomplish. Because you're going to sit there and you're going to harp over something that happened 10, 15, 20 years ago, 10 months ago, 11 days ago. It doesn't matter when it happened. Your feelings are valid, but your actions of being lazy are not.
Period.
Welcome to Modify Your Life podcast. Where I'm your host, Anthony Lopez, also known as
Guns
Heavy
are
Modified.
blazing.
Guns are blazing. Happy Monday.
I'll see you in the next one.
Let's go.
There's no way that this is real, man. It can't